Hi, everybody. It's Gene Simmons, and you're not, and you're listening to the Potter Than Hell podcast with Steve, BC, BB, and Dylan. But you knew that, didn't you?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Potter Than Hell podcast. This is your last stop on the crazy train of hard rock and heavy metal. So sit back, buckle in, and hang on. Here we go.
Hello, Hellions, and welcome back to the Potter Than Hell podcast. And tonight, I'm your host, BB. And as always, I am joined by the man behind the keys.
Dylan.
Dylan, what's up, buddy?
Not too much.
Once again, here we go. The round two of the Parents Away, the mice will play here. It's, Steve and BC kind of recouping from their cruise.
Whereas the last one was geography, this one's just sheer laziness.
Yes, definitely laziness. I don't know if they have to tend to their sunburns or what it is, but maybe they're rubbing aloe on each other tonight. To each their own. You never know, but we'll be back together next week as a full group. But Dill, what's been going on, buddy? Anything?
Oh, not too much.
Busy, right?
Living the dream, as they say.
Yes, I hear you. Well, while you're living that dream, what have you been listening to?
So I was in a weird mood today. It was President's Day, and we had to work, so it was not a fun day. There was not too much going on in the office, so I put on some Dillinger Escape Plan in the background. They're called a mathcore band. They're basically
the Common Core math plan.
Yeah, no, not that kind. The good kind. I call it almost like a hardcore / prog metal / jazz. Really crazy time changes, but there's also the screaming vocals. So
right.
It's really the one thing. All the things combined that my dad would hate.
Right.
All packed into one.
All packed in was like a big fruit salad that Steve would not eat.
Yeah, they broke up sadly back in 2015, 16.
Oh, okay.
But their albums are still great. I was listening to the specific album, One of Us is the Killer. Oh, fantastic album from 2013.
Okay, I'll have to check that out. Even though the little Cookie Monster, I'll still give it a spin.
I'll warn you, it's different.
And see, that's what I like. I like a little different. And I've been spinning the original Femme Fatale, the debut from 1988. Nice. I'm still on that M3 kick of looking at videos, and I even kind of took a left turn and started watching some videos that people actually had from the cruise that Steve and BC were on. So I kind of checked that out. Yeah, Femme Fatale was one of those bands. Like now, back in the day, it was just Lori Lewis, and now she's got a whole actually female band with her, backing her up, which they're fantastic. And it's their debut album. They had their two big hits, Waiting for the Big One and Falling In and Out of Love. So it's back to that era, 1988, when the hair was high and the vocals were high as well. Love Femme Fatale, and one of those bands that always brought it when we saw them at M3.
Yeah, they are fantastic. I do remember seeing them a couple times, I think, at M3, and each time it was very, very good.
Yeah, I definitely like to see them now with the all female band. Now they got Roxy on drums, and they got Britt Lightning playing guitar now. So they're nice and tight. They've been playing for a while together. So hopefully, even near future, maybe they even have some kind of new material coming out. So
that'd be cool.
You never know. All right. So tonight, this crazy little thing that we got going on is, since Dylan was so nice to let me pick a topic, and of course I had to pull the BC card but not pick Lizzie Borden. I had to pick Black Label Society.
You're Lizzie Borden.
Yes. And maybe now that if I get this out nice and early in February, I won't have to worry about it for the rest of the year.
Yeah, you get your fix, and
yep, exactly.
Go on from there.
I won't have to carry on every 2 or 3 weeks about something like this. So get it out and early, done. So maybe down the road, BC can do a Lizzie Borden to get his Lizzie Borden kick out.
Maybe. We might let him.
Because, I saw him, I saw a picture that he was rubbing elbows with them on the cruise. So
apparently they were very friendly to my dad and BC, because they were up in the front row for both their shows, rocking out, and they noticed. You always notice the people that
the guys
know
who
the
know
songs.
Yeah, exactly. So I can't wait to hear the stories that they come back with.
Yeah.
But Dill, before we get into Black Label Society, let's take a little bit to enjoy the news. All right, the news this week. We only got one little thing going on here, but it touches kind of both of us. We kind of talked about this in our Grammy episode that Dylan hosted, which was really, really good. If you guys haven't checked that out, that's going to be one of our regular episode catalogs of Grammys. But we talked about Ozzy Osbourne with his No More Tours 2 tour. And what we thought about, Ozzy going out, with his, now that he has Parkinson's disease, and, what we thought about it. But today, February 17th, Ozzy has actually canceled the 2020 North American No More Tours 2 dates.
Yes.
Whew, that's a mouthful.
It is.
Dill, what do you think?
It's sad. I figured this was going to be coming. Some of the details, it looks like he has to go to Switzerland to get treatment in April, and it's going to take 6 to 8 weeks, so he doesn't want to cut it close, so he just wants to make sure the fans aren't getting their hopes up and cut it off early. But from the sounds of it, it looks like the refunds, including the fees, are available, which is good, and that people who purchase tickets to this tour are going to have first access to tickets when the next tour is announced. So I don't know if they're thinking that he's going to do another tour after the treatment. It would be cool to see, but I think what should be the focus, and this seems to be the case, is Ozzy getting better.
Right.
And especially his new album's coming out Friday. Actually, today, the day the episode's released, will be out. And, we'll celebrate by listening to the album. We don't want you to go too strenuous. We don't want you to overdo it and make yourself even worse. So I think he's doing the right thing here.
Yeah, definitely. He's already made his, statue in marble already. He's already made oodles and oodles of music out there from, even the late 60s till now. I think it's really time that he kind of relaxes, enjoys the family, takes some time off, and, really, really get healthy. And then, if so be it, do a tour, nothing strenuous, I think your dad really hit it on the head when we were talking about it the first time. Do maybe a show, then almost take like 5-6 days off, hit another show, just hit like the big cities, maybe 10-12 shows, and, promote your album and call it a day. But like you said, I think on everybody's mind, the big thing is Ozzy's health, and that's number one. Yeah. So, I know Ozzy's a big listener to our podcast, so hopefully Ozzy get well, get better, get healthy, and hopefully we'll see you out on the road.
Yeah. I just, if you're going to cancel a tour, health reasons is the best reason to cancel the tour.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So that's a great way to kind of move into our segment here. Zakk being the fluent guitar player of Ozzy for years. But we're not really going to talk about the heavy Black Label Society today. We're going to talk about the lighter side of Black Label Society. Everybody kind of knows the string melter, the
pinch harmonics,
of the modern day Yngwie Malmsteen, blah, 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 and the wah-wah pedal. So we kind of, it's funny, the other day I thought about this. Maybe we should have did the softer side of Black Label for Valentine's Day.
Yeah. But hey, we did a band that I love.
That's right. There was a lot of love that day.
Still appropriate.
There definitely was. So hopefully, our ideas, our how we go through these albums, hopefully we're on the same page. I know you're not the biggest fan in the world, but
it's not that I'm a fan. It's just that I'm not as well versed on Black Label.
Right.
I remember seeing them open for Judas Priest at the Giant Stadium. Was
Giant Stadium? Yeah.
It was Chad Sliga, friend of the podcast,
Correct.
was drumming for him, and they were fantastic because it was for the Order of the Black album that they were basically touring.
And that was a really good one.
That's my favorite album from them. So
perfect.
Yeah, they're great. I do like what I know of them.
Right.
And
good.
We've covered a couple of their albums. I think Catacombs of
the Black Vatican. I think that was a birthday
Hangover
album of
Music.
mine. Yeah, that's really good, and that's the one that Chad actually plays on and does a fantastic job on it.
Yeah.
Let me just hit a couple, a little bit of the history behind, more like the family tree of Black Label, because everybody knows Zakk started out with Ozzy. But maybe some people don't know kind of what happened in between there. But in 1994, he actually started a band called Pride and Glory. On bass was James Lorenzo. He was he played with White Lion. And then on drums was Brian Tishy. He played with Whitesnake and Ozzy. That 1994 album was such a big hit down south. It was like the modern day, Leonard Skinner type thing. It was a rocking country / southern rock, little harmonica in there. It had a big influence of southern rock. And from that band, I think he got the itch to maybe trying to do a little bit more of his own stuff. Because after he recorded Osmosis, and I believe that was in 1995, he kind of started going off of that into more of a solo career. And then in 1996, he released The Book of Shadows. Mm-hmm. And I think that was just under Zakk Wylde. And that was an album that was just plain old acoustic stuff. And it really didn't get into like any mainstream success. It didn't even, didn't make any radio. It didn't have like that one hit that he thought that would maybe take off. So he kind of took a break. So he came out with the first Black Label Society album in 1999. It was called Sonic Brew. Zakk, he did vocals and he did bass, and almost like when we talked about the Foo Fighters, when Dave Grohl did his first album, he did most of his stuff. Mm-hmm. Zakk does most of his stuff. He does a lot of the engineering and the mixing, but he picks a drummer. Phil Ondish is his name, and this is kind of the family tree of Black Label, and they've gone through a couple of drummers. We already said Chad Saliga and Brian Tishy. And they went through a couple bass players. Right now they have JD on bass, who has kind of been with him for almost ever. And it's I am really intrigued by how Zakk is going, how after we go over these songs, how much of a softer side, or maybe even like a lot of like darker, maybe even like kind of coping with a lot of problems that he had. How did you go about picking some of these, lighter side of Black Label songs?
So, it was an interesting process for sure, because I haven't listened to most of these albums. So basically, I kind of skipped through most of the songs to see, is this a softer Black Label song? If it was, I put it on for a little bit, see if it vibed with me. If it didn't vibe with me, I moved on. If it did, I put it on a short list. And I kind of just went through the entire catalog doing that, focusing mostly on the ones that I knew were mostly acoustic, like the Hangover Music one,
right,
and Unblackened.
Unblackened, the live album,
Song Remains Not the Same.
Yep.
So I focused mostly on those ones because I knew those ones were the acoustic or the mellower side of the band.
Right.
And before we get into it, I do want to point out that we're representing both bearded and unbearded Zakk.
Correct.
Facial hair.
Yes.
I got the thick beard, and you've
That's
got
right. I have the shaven beard.
Yeah. So we're representing both sides of Zakk while we're representing
the softer
side of Black Label.
That is true. And believe it or not, there's actually, I never really sat down and kind of went through the albums and kind of picked out the slower ones compared to the heavy ones. But they have like 10 studio albums, 3 live albums, 4 compilation albums, and there's even they even have like 4 DVDs that are out. Yeah. There is so much music to go through.
There is.
And I couldn't believe how many slow songs there actually are.
There's a lot. We only have one recurring song between our two lists, which is crazy. So
yeah, so I'm very curious to see what you have to say.
Yeah.
So let's just let's jump right in, Dill.
Absolutely.
Just we'll pick one. Pick one out of the hat, and then we'll see what we got.
I'll pick the most obvious one. I'll go with this, and this was the first acoustic song I had heard, was their acoustic version of Stillborn.
Oh, right.
It took me about a minute to realize it was an acoustic version of their most popular song, because it's completely different. He immediately reimagines it. I think it's less monotonous than the original version because there's the really beautiful acoustic playing and the really cool riffing he does on top of it to add a little bit of spontaneity and variety to a pretty monotonous song.
Right.
It's still a good song, but it's just very much the same with the... But his singing is really pure. You don't expect it from a guy that mostly sounds like Ozzy when he sings.
That's true.
I think that my favorite part, though, is at the end of the version that I saw, there was a vocal cameo from BC.
That's right.
Where he goes, let's get good and fucked up and start drinking. And I was really surprised. Yep, you have that written down too.
See? All right, we're off to a good start.
We're vibing. Okay. Yeah, I was really happy to see BC appear in the album.
Yeah. That song, that actual version, that was released a long time ago. Because I remember, like, when the Apple little skinny I think there were iPods?
Mm-hmm. There were iPods.
The real skinny one, they had, like, the little screen on it.
Yes.
That was from a radio station. It was in Lehigh County.
Oh, interesting.
Lehigh County somewhere, because it's not Stillborn. They do another one, and I wish I wrote it down. But he started talking about the Allentown chapter, because every time he goes somewhere, it's always like the San Francisco chapter, the Carbondale chapter.
Like a biker club.
Like a biker club, exactly. And he says the Allentown chapter, and then somebody said, like, the Lehigh County chapter. So, so they're...
It's cool that
they're
close.
Down there somewhere.
Yeah.
So they're close. And that was back when Nick Cantonese was playing guitar with them. He's a phenomenal guitar player, and he kind of left the band to do some teaching and some other stuff. But Nick's a kid from Pittsburgh. He's a Pittsburgh
very cool.
boy.
Very cool.
So, that's definitely a great song. And I figured that would be a cool thing to just throw out there. But it's funny how we thought BC was there. And that was the days of drunken Zakk as well. Now he's just drinking coffee. Now you can get good and wired up, or start drinking coffee. Start drinking coffee.
You can still get fucked up from coffee.
Yeah, I'm sure. It's like the old days of Jolt. You can overdose on caffeine.
Exactly.
All right. My first pick that I picked is from the Mafia album.
Okay.
It's called "Dirt on the Grave."
Nice.
Another very kind of dark, almost in a way. A lot of layered electric guitar and piano start. Mm-hmm. And I am a humongous sucker, and I don't know why. I love a piano and an electric guitar, and they're almost like the total polar opposites of each other. Mm. But I love a lot of these songs have that layered guitar piano, start to it. But fantastic start. I love how they layer that together. Then as he's going through his vocals, then they just go plain piano. And then he'll sing like a verse, and then the chorus comes in. And while the chorus plays, there's just like, they go back. Now they actually do the acoustic guitar and back to the piano and just a piano. And then they finish with electric guitar. So there's like this big mosh podge of instruments through this whole album, through this whole song. But it sounds so good, and you don't even realize it till you really, really give a good listen to it. Mm-hmm. And even the whining, like sometimes I get sick and tired of the whining vocals that he does, but the whining vocals in this one really, really work for me. Just showing the emotion of the song that he has.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really like this song. There's some cool talk box action happening for a little bit. I'm always loving the, like we said, we always love the talk box.
Yep.
It's a really nice stripped back song. I like the only guitar, vocals, and piano interplay because there's no percussion to busy it up. There's not in the song, right? Mm. It just lets the instruments speak for themselves.
Yep.
I really love the vocal harmonies. They work very well. They and it's amazing that Zakk plays the piano on these songs, right?
Yes.
It's amazing that he basically plays every instrument on this song. I always love when a song is just one person. It's very cool to show their musical chops because it showed that he can do the singing and he can do the piano and the guitar, and it shows the many layers. He's more than just a guitar player,
right?
But in a good, it's like a very good showcase of this person that you only ever saw as Ozzy's guitarist.
Yeah.
And I think it's a really good song to start off your list.
Oh, yeah. And you know what? Back to the Stillborn, now that you say just the piano.
Yes.
On the reissued anniversary that just came out this year, they do Stillborn.
Yes.
He does it on piano.
Oh, very cool.
It's a really good, really cool version.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, definitely. It's on the reissue. I think it's the 30-year anniversary.
Wow.
It's either 25 or 30-year anniversary of the Sonic Brew album, their first one. And yeah, it's really, really cool. They even have a video tied with it, and just black and white, and the band just playing.
Oh, very cool.
Really, really cool.
That is awesome. I'm definitely going to have to check that out.
Yeah. All right, Dill, what's your next one did you pick?
My next song, the original version was on Order of the Black, but I picked the acoustic version from the song Remains Not the Same of Overlord. Again, I love how he translates his electric songs into acoustic, because it's not just the same thing with an acoustic guitar. He has a different arrangement to it. There's a bit different soloing that happens in it. And this song, the thing that I really like about it is it reminds me of other bands. So the intro kind of reminds me of I'm 18, just for a split second.
Oh, yeah.
But the vocal harmonies in the song are very much Alice in Chains-like to me, which just hits my... it gets me right there, because I love Alice in Chains, and there's other songs that will remind me of Alice in Chains later on. But the thing that really I love about this song is the electric soloing over the acoustic guitar. It is very cool hearing that juxtaposition, and it actually makes the solo stand out a bit more with just having the acoustic guitar instead of an electric rhythm, because sometimes it'll get meshed up together with their full band, just all electric stuff.
Right.
So I really like that you can pick out each individual instrument with these acoustic arrangements, and it's a fantastic song. I like the electric a lot too. So
yeah,
it's just two very good one song, different versions.
Yep, that's what I pretty much have here. I definitely like it better than the original, but the original is so heavy, but I love how they slowed the tempo down, but you get that little bit of screaming vocals in the middle there, but they still get their point across, even though that they slowed the whole song down. It's almost totally different.
Yes,
and even in the little solo that they do there, it's so fast. Mm-hmm. It's amazing. I love how they kind of just switch that whole tempo up of that song.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, my next song I picked is off of the Hangover music, Stepping Stone. It's almost in the same genre with the Dirt on the Grave. It has like that dark feel to it. Zakk's in there. There's like a howling owl with like a megaphone or something going on there, but it's a super slow song. But when you think you're going to get the acoustic guitar, you get the electric guitar in this, and it just sells itself. It's really, really cool the way that how it comes off so slow, but that guitar in there, it just gives it that different element of being so dark.
Yeah. This one, it was a little too slow for me.
Okay.
It was a little sluggish for my ear. And I think
I want the truth.
Yeah, this is probably the one that I like the least tonight.
Okay.
But it was still a pretty decent song. I did like the solo a lot. And one of the biggest complaints I always have with Zakk Wylde is he'll often, in my opinion, overplay on the solo. He will just
Yep.
And it won't fit the song at all. Most of the songs tonight, the solos fit, and this is one of them where he doesn't go overboard and jump ship and decides to just like almost like Marty McFly in Back to the Future, where he just starts
jamming out. Yep.
Your kids are gonna love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was an okay song, but probably my least favorite tonight.
Gotcha. Nice. That's what I like. I like a little diversity here for a change.
Hey, I have no problem with being diverse.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, Dill, what's your next pick?
Okay, my next pick, also from the song Remains Not the Same, Riders of the Damned. The main thing about this song is the solo. I love a song that goes naturally into the solo, almost a crescendo, like you're running up to the mountain, and then the peak, and that's the solo. This song is the perfect example of that. The solo is well earned throughout the song. It just has that. It feels like it's leading to this moment, and it's the emotional release. It's the catharsis you want.
Right.
And that's really why I picked the song, was because of how well the song is structured around the solo part of it.
Right.
Which is a great solo.
Yeah, definitely. It is an amazing solo. The vocal performance on this is just so powerful.
Yeah.
And what's even in parts, I don't know if they have like an echo to his voice or he recorded it and it's like layered on top of each other, but there's almost like a little echo to parts of his vocal parts in this song, which really, really caught my ear and I thought were really, really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, great pick. I love that song. All right. My number 3 pick, also from the Hangover music. You know, we're gonna get a lot of this Hangover music, and the song not remains the same tonight. But from Hangover music, Damage Is Done. Another one of those piano starts, and in my ears, Zakk's vocals in this song are probably the best in the whole catalog. I don't know what it is. He's really into this song. The acoustic piano solo in the middle, it just really, really, this is like what I love about the lighter side of Black Label. And this is probably my second favorite slower Black Label song. It is just so powerful.
Yeah, I agree with you fully. For some reason, I didn't write notes on this one, but I do remember the song. I was very impressed by this song because I'd never heard it before, and it was almost moving to me. And it's very tough for me to be moved by Zakk because his vocals are, while very melodic, he has that gruffness still that takes you out of it a little bit. But
right.
I really enjoyed this song.
Yeah, there's gonna be another song in your list that's a little moving, and I'll have to tell you the story behind it when we get to it.
Absolutely.
All right, what do you got next here on your list, there, my boy?
Okay, so my next song, I just want to make sure I get the album right. Oh, it's still on. The Song Remains Not the Same. Fantastic. And I think this is going to be the last song for that album, so don't worry, listeners. I did listen to more albums than just The Song Remains Not the Same. I just kind of grouped them all together because as I was going through, that's kind of how it laid out. The song Darkest Days. I was very impressed with the violin in this song.
Right.
I was not expecting to hear violin. At this point, I was like, okay, I'm going to hear the acoustic. I'm probably going to hear some electric playing on top of it. Zakk's going to have the melodic vocals. And here oh, violin, wow, surprising. Very cool. And it really ebbs and flows well with the acoustic at the beginning. It's very much they're doing an interplay with each other, complementing each other but not copying each other.
Right.
Which I think is really important. It's almost like a bass line and a guitar line where the bass is holding down the fort and the guitar's going for a walk. And I think it really did here. And again, Zakk's soulful singing. It always surprises me when it hits, and this song it hit for me. And it's a fantastic version of a great song.
Awesome. Yeah, the guy that he sings this song with is...
Oh, was it another singer?
He was John Rich.
Okay.
I think he's a country guy, and I actually had to look up who he was because as it came over, it said featuring John Rich. I'm like, who's John Rich?
Yeah.
But he's a country guy, so... Oh,
interesting.
So I wrote down, not only is the first time I hear violins, but I also hear a duet.
Yeah. I was so focused in on Zakk duetting with himself that I didn't even register that it was another singer.
See? So the highlight of this, there's some finger plucking during one of the solos.
Yeah. And
I don't know if it's him, I don't know if it's this John Rich guy, but it's really, really cool the way they do it. That was the second best part of the song besides the violin and the duet.
Yeah, no, that is a fantastic part.
Yes. Yeah, I'm glad you picked that because that's a really, really good song, and I wanted to touch on that John Rich guy, and I just can't think of what country band he's from now. But since that's out of format, and Steve will be yelling at us, I don't want to get in trouble. My next song is the song that I talked about before. Now that I see it, with your Stillborn song that they recorded in Lehigh County radio station. They do Stillborn and they do Spoke in the Wheel. This is there's one off Sonic Brew. There's one off this song Remains Not the Same. This is probably one of their more popular songs, and I believe this is actually the first song that Zakk wrote for Black Label.
Oh, interesting.
But it actually has that Book of Shadows feel to it. So I'm wondering if it was maybe a leftover one that they kind of, let's, kind of bring it along with us. But it's just a powerful song. It's so smooth. It's beautiful with his vocals. And just the guitar duet with him and Nick Cantonese are fantastic.
Yeah, this was another song that I had heard before. And I really enjoyed it, listening to it again. I think it deserves to be one of the more popular ones. And I think it's cool. It's a cool song.
Right.
This is how I would describe it.
And it's just, no matter where he goes, it's always, it's like the rock and roll night of Kiss. He always has to play it.
Yeah.
It's either acoustic or it's either the piano version or, I don't think I've ever seen him really rock out to it. He always kind of slows it down. But definitely one of their highlights of their catalog that it seems like everybody likes.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Dill, what's your number 5 before halftime here, buddy?
Number 5. So this song, the first song outside of the song Remains Not the Same. This one is actually off of Hangover Music. And this was the one song from that album. Yeah, one of the 3 songs from that album that really stuck with me when we listened to it for the podcast. Won't Find It Here. The thing I like about the song, it's an acoustic background song, but with the heavy song singing. So Zakk is singing like he would sing for a heavier song, but it's with the acoustic background, and I think it really works. It won't work for all the songs he does, but it works for this one. There's this really cool, towards the middle, moody part that has the owl noise, or there was not owl, howl.
Oh,
there was
right.
a howl and some electronic stuff that happens in it. But then it goes into a blistering electric guitar solo that I was almost thinking, is this softer side of Black Label? But I figured since it has the acoustic for most of the song, I can get it in under the wire.
That's another thing that I noticed doing this episode and listening to a lot of their slower stuff. A lot of songs, he'll start out with the piano, or he'll start off with the electric guitar, or with both, and then he just blows it away with a amazing electric solo.
Yeah.
And like you said, this is definitely one of those songs that you get a little tricked by it. But you hit the nail on the head. What I wrote down, I love his screaming chorus vocals. For a slow song, the screaming easily works on this.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that song. I love that whole Hangover album. That's just a fantastic album, and that's where I kind of like Zakk. Sometimes he gets a little bit too heavy, a little bit too wah-wah pedal crazy, and and sometimes you can't understand them. And I kind of break away from that in a way.
Understandable.
All right, so to close out my half of the album, song number 5, "Just Killing's Time," off the Stronger Than Death album. This, for me, this is my favorite slow Zakk Wylde song. I don't know why. Ever since I heard it, it's always a go-to song. It has so much soul and emotion in it. So it has the piano throughout the song, and then there's that fast, crazy solo on top of the piano playing.
Yeah.
It's just a great song about living life and getting old, and it's just I think it's just the tone of the vocals and his emotion. I always went to it, and like I said, to this day I still don't know why, but big fan of this song.
I liked it. It wasn't my favorite, but I liked it. I think the problem for me with this song was that the vocals and the verses were a little too low in the mix, and it got a little indistinct next to the piano for my ear at least. The solo is fantastic, and again, I love when he does piano, because you don't expect this guy with the burly beard and always wearing a kilt and just like coming up on stage with the scariest looking guy in the room to pop up onto the piano and start playing these beautiful melodies and hitting these chords and just singing his heart out. You don't expect it, and I think it works. I think it works very well. I just have the little problem with the vocals being a little too low for my liking in the verses.
All right. Well, Dylan, we're halfway through it, buddy.
Yep.
Hopefully your ears aren't bleeding too much. Hopefully you got through the first half.
We made it through the wilderness.
Yes.
Somehow we made it through.
All right. So before we get into our gems, how about we break into a little Ronnie James Dio?
Oh, of course. Never a bad idea.
No.
For sure.
I picked Dio because, with Zakk and Ozzy, Dio also always kind of surrounded him with some great guitar players.
Yeah, very true.
This one, Rowan Robertson, no doubt, fantastic guitar player. So the song you're gonna be listening to is from the Lock Up the Wolf album. It's called Walk on Water.
Okay.
So before we go into the gems, Ronnie James Dio, Walk on Water.
He's just an ordinary man. No, he's
and welcome back. And should I say, welcome back to you too. And we have a very special returning host here tonight.
Just for a couple minutes.
Just for a couple of minutes, just walked in the door, cracked a beer, and decided to sit down and shoot the shit. The Podfessor has returned.
There he is. Hey.
From the cruise.
Hello, guys. What's happening? Yeah, I just came in, and these guys are recording, so I didn't want to interrupt, but they asked me to join for the gym, and how could I say no to these guys? I haven't seen them. I missed them, and I missed all their listeners out there, and was amazing to be on there, which we're going to do a recap coming up, but also awesome to be back.
Nice. So, since you're here, why don't you give us a little gem? Because I know you're like the walking jukebox. You got to have some kind of gem hidden in that phone of yours somewhere.
Okay, this is kind of off the cuff, a quick gem here that I just I was singing this song all day. It's a lot of people's favorite song from this band, but it's a cover version on this one. I'm picking the 2008 version of Detroit Rock City from Hammerfall. It was on the 2008 Masterpieces album. Really, just a great version of it. True to the original, but it has that extra oomph, that little power metal punch in there from Hammerfall that everyone, if you've heard them before, you should be used to it. If you haven't, definitely check them out. Great cover song of that. And actually, Masterpieces, that is an album of covers from those guys.
The original version, it was on Crimson Thunder.
Crimson Thunder, okay. Cool. Check it out.
Very cool. Nice. Dylan, what you bring?
So, we're talking about, well, crap, I can't say it because I don't want to spoil them. Put on your headphones for a second.
All right, hang on.
For the rest of this pick.
Hang on.
Can you hear me? Testing. Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Okay.
I can hear you.
So, since we're talking about Zakk Wylde, I decided to do a little bit of Steel Dragon from, of course, the movie Rockstar.
Yes.
He's in this fictional band with Jeff Pilson from Dokken, Jason Bonham, Dominic West, but not actually Dominic West. I think Jeff Pilson plays his part. And they do a couple of really good songs. One of them is Blood Pollution. Love that song. And actually Steelheart, because their lead singer does Mark Wahlberg's singing voice in the movie. Steelheart covers all these songs, so you could listen to it on their like Alive in Milan album. They do all of the songs on there. But I also thought it was interesting because Nick Cannonese is also in the movie. He's in Mark Wahlberg's first band.
Oh, that's right.
That had Timothy Olyphant in it.
Yeah.
So it was Nick Cannonese, Blas Elias from Slaughter, and Brian Vander Ark from the Verve Pipe, which is an alternative band. Yeah, so
Nice.
that's my hidden gem, a Blood Pollution from Steel Dragon.
Cool.
You could take the headphones off now. My spoiler pick is done.
Okay.
All right, and then my hidden gem is a band out of Sweden that started in 2007, Heat, or H-E-A-T. You know, and as you are listening to this,
I'm actually listening to a playlist that Sonny put
That's
out.
crazy.
I think it's the set list from the boat, I think.
okay, so this song, Dangerous Ground, it's already been released, but the whole album will be released as you listen to this podcast, if you are listening to it the day it comes out, February 21st. So while you're listening to the podcast, go down, download H-E-A-T. The album's called, I think the song is called Dangerous Ground. It comes off the Heat 2 album. So check it out. So
Was Dennis
Wrighty.
Hopper still in that one? Or was Al Pacino still in that one?
No.
So tell me,
He was so good in the first one.
was H-E-A-T as good as they sound now?
I will give you a
Little
quick
teaser.
preview of these guys.
Little teaser.
I can't even ballpark how many shows I've seen in the last 15 years. I can't even
Right.
ballpark it. Hundreds. Their frontman is probably the best frontman I've seen in the last 15 years.
And he just saw David Lee Roth.
And they fucking sound amazing. This guy is
that's
a
what
madman on stage. And I don't know if they played this song, but they did play the song "Rise" that is also on this on the new album coming out.
Right. Yeah, there's
All I gotta
only
say
2
is,
songs that are
holy
released.
Shit! If you watch any of the YouTube videos, it doesn't know justice. Like if you see a shitty video on YouTube, like they said, like David Lee Roth, like, you know, go see it live. YouTube videos cannot do anything justice, good or bad.
Right.
Come Clean, Dangerous Ground. Oh, okay. Rise was from another album then.
Okay.
I think they.
Oh no,
did...
it is there. It's
okay.
just not released.
Oh, it.
Song 11.
Oh, I think it is on mine. Anyway.
All right. Well, you're special. You just came off the boat.
I am.
You're
absolutely.
probably rubbing elbows with the guys from Heat.
I'm special, all right. But seriously, if you have not checked this band out, amazing melodic hard rock band. Singer is a madman. Check out some of the videos from the Monsters of Rock cruise. Dude is crazy, but crazy good.
Nice.
Cool.
Very cool.
All right, buddy.
Okay,
Thanks
go
for.
back to
I'm
your-
gonna put my
your
headphone. I'm
cave.
gonna go back in my isolation chamber.
That's
and
right.
let you guys
Get back
finish
to
recording
the
the episode. Good talking with you guys
All right,
again,
yeah.
and we'll record again in a couple days. See everybody out there, and
Okay, back to
I will be back next time.
back to Millie and Vanilli. So why don't you?
Very nice.
What were the gems again?
Mine was Dangerous Ground by the band Heat.
Dad's was Detroit Rock City
Steve
from
was
Hammerfall.
Detroit Rock City from Hammerfall.
And mine was
And
Blood
you were
Pollution
Blood
from
Pollution.
Steel Dragon.
Yes. That's a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
Next time we do a movie review, we'll have to
Yeah.
do that.
Miles Kennedy, one of Dad's favorite new vocalists, is in that movie for a cameo, and he's apparently the only guy that actually provides his own singing voice in the movie, because everybody else is overdubbed by either Jeff Scott Solo or Steelheart lead singer.
Oh, yeah. Jeez.
Yeah.
Huh. All right.
Fun fact.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay.
All right, let's get back into our side 2 of the lighter side of BLS.
Yes.
All right, Dill. Well, what songs you got? What songs you have on side B as we
Okay.
flip over this vinyl thing here?
Well, let me tell you, I'm very excited about this next song. I remember listening to this song on Catacombs of the Black Vatican, and Catacombs of the Black Vatican, and being blown away by it, and everybody else was shitting on it, from what I remember. I could be wrong, but I think this is the song that everybody shit on. It's Shades of Grey. The song has an almost 50s feel to it that I love, like a 50s swing, like do 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 bop, do 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 do. It's something you don't expect to hear from Black Label, and it immediately has my attention. It has an amazing solo. It almost goes into the venture of overplayed, but it teeters on the edge. It goes right up to the line without crossing it, and it's low-key one of my favorite Black Label Society songs of all time. I couldn't tell you why, but you know me, I like my weird songs for bands and stuff. But Shades of Grey just strikes a chord with me that it's one of those indescribable things. I just really love it. I love how he sings it. It just feels like a song from another era, but then with that Black Label injection with the solo. Right. I don't know. It's one of my favorite Black Label Society songs.
Yeah, I do enjoy it to a point. Chad's drumming on this song is really, really good.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what it is, and I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I honestly don't know what it's okay, and then I don't like it, and then it's okay. You know, I don't know if I have to be in a certain mood.
Yeah, I remember he hated it.
He hated it.
He was like, I fucking hate Shades of Grey.
Yeah. So I kind of teeter. I guess it's like a mood thing that I have to be in.
Yeah, I understand. I understand that completely. I know it's not a high-tier Black Label Society song that everybody's like, oh, Shades of Grey. That's the one. Play it live. I know that.
Right.
I know I'm in the minority here. I just love this song for some reason.
So I guess I guess Shades of Grey, for me, is like your damage is done. Maybe I think that may have been the song. Stepping Stone. Okay. I just don't know what it is.
I understand.
It is. I think it's just a mood thing.
Yeah, and you know me. I always like those songs that have that weird feel compared to the rest of the songs.
Right. And I almost have that for another song on my list, like a certain feel, but we'll get to that later on.
Yeah.
All right. To start off my second side, from the Mafia album. I think this is another song I picked off the Mafia album. I Never Dreamed. It is actually a Leonard Skinner cover song.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's funny. It kind of took me a while because for some odd reason I always thought that Spoke on the Wheel was a cover of Leonard Skinner. So I knew they did an actual Leonard Skinner cover. I just didn't know it was this one. But it was probably like a couple years ago I realized that. But it starts off like that Leonard Skinner feel to it almost. It has like a little, like an electric organ, and it has like then it kicks in with a screaming riff, and then Zakk's screaming, "Oh yeah," and "all right." There's more of this electric guitar piano solo thing going on, but they keep their song pretty close to the original. Like, they don't go too crazy trying to make it their own, but there are parts that are really cool and a little different than the original. So it's kind of, especially the ending. The ending to this song is not even close to what's on the, because it is just mind-blowing, like soloing beyond anybody's wildest dreams.
Yeah.
But it's a really, really great cover that they keep that Leonard Skinner feel to it. You know what I mean?
It's interesting that you mentioned Leonard Skinner because a song coming up very much reminded me of Leonard Skinner. This song did not as much, but I can hear it now that you say it.
Right.
I don't know why I didn't realize this was a Leonard Skinner song, but I like it a lot. It's again a non-overplayed solo.
Right.
And I really love the piano parts with the drums behind it.
Yeah.
I think it really works.
Love it. Love this song. This is a really, really, really good song. And like I said, it's turned like a step up compared to the original. I think the original is from like 77.
Yeah, okay.
So, it has that slower start, which is, this one's a little bit,
Yes.
like you said, it's a little bit sped up, but does it justice.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, Dill, what do you got for number 7?
Number 7 is the last song on the Order of the Black. This one's just a short and sweet song. It's January. It's I always say, and I'm like a broken record with this, I love when an album does the reflective ending song. And this is very much
Definitely.
the reflective ending song. I think it works better in the context of the album and not as well outside of the album. But I still think it's a very beautiful song. It's short and sweet, to the point. It comes in, it says what it needs to say, and it gets out.
Right. This song is actually about his father. His father passed away January 19th, 2009.
Oh, interesting.
So it almost has like that Book of Shadows feel to it.
Yeah.
But there's that one verse that's in there. It's hard to hold a memory when there's nothing left to hold.
Yeah.
So you're like,
Oh,
wow.
devastating.
Like,
That hits you. That hits you.
you know what I mean? So that's that super duper sensitive side that Zakk has, and it's almost like a softer side, but it's a great tribute to his dad. After I read that, I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
So that's a great pick. I love that song. Another one of those. It almost gets shuffled in that lost spot, even though it's the last spot. You're like, it's not really what you expect out of Black Label.
It's not
but
the fall most of the album, but I think it works really well.
It definitely does the close out the album. Like I said, what a tribute to his dad.
Yeah.
All right, for me, song number 7, "Woman Don't Cry" from the Hangover music album. Now this to me has the very 70-ish feel to it.
Yes.
The way it starts, like it is it's almost like you want to say like an old show from like the 70s, like the Jeffersons or something like this. This would like open up for them.
Yeah.
It has that commercialized 70s feel to it. Very light, but the solo in it, once again, just like mind-blowing.
Yes.
So what did you think about this one?
I was very surprised by just how soft Zakk's vocals get in this song, because I'm used to the non-gruff Zakk, but this one, it's another level of soft. It's very much almost, I don't want to say lullaby-ish, but it's very low-key and very soothing and very just plaintive and melodic. And the song has a very Tuesday's Gone cadence to me. It has that flow to it that I feel with that other song. I love the bluesy guitar noodling that happens during the song.
Oh, yeah.
It's very, very effortless. It feels like it naturally fits, almost like the song was playing and he was listening to it back in the studio and just playing a little riff over it, and they put a mic there, and it just ended up on the song. It just feels very off the cuff,
Right.
which I really enjoy. I don't like a planned solo or a planned guitar part that sounds overly rehearsed and it's like we know exactly what we want to hit for this.
Oh, right.
I like
Sure.
a very organic guitar
there you
part.
go.
And that was what this
That's
was
it.
for me.
Yeah, fantastic song. Love that one. All right, Dill, what do you got for number 8?
I'm going to keep with the hangover music. That
We're all
that you
hungover
set up.
today here.
Yep. This one is a tribute to one of my favorite deceased singers, Lane Staley. It's called Lane. Of course, he was the lead singer of Alice in Chains. And it very much sounds like an Alice in Chains song in a way. I get that vibe from it, from the vocals, from the guitar parts. It has the good soft loud verse chorus that I always expect in grunge songs that I really enjoy. It has a very cool moody ending. I love the bass line that happens underneath that. It's a very touching tribute, both stylistically and lyrically, to his fallen friend.
Yeah, definitely. The for me, the drums are so prominent in this song, which I think is a really, we're always talking about the pianos and the acoustics. The drums for me really, really picked up on this one. And even when Zakk screams goodbye, it is like he like gets into your heart and your soul.
Yes.
Just the tone of him screaming goodbye at the end of that second verse. And then, like you said, how there's almost like the song, and there's probably maybe 2.5 minutes of just like Alice in Chains-ish music going on there. And another fun fact, which it could just be hearsay, but there is a part where you hear someone knocking at the door.
Yes.
And I also read that you can hear like a cat meow, but I couldn't hear the cat meow. That was a tribute to when they went to check on Lane. They knocked on the door first.
Yeah.
Then they got in. Then they saw the cat, Sadie, I think his cat's name was. So it's kind of like a little homage to that in a way.
Yeah.
So after you hear that, you're like, oh, okay, I get it. I see it.
They didn't find him for a couple weeks, which is very sad.
Right.
But that makes sense. And I could see that now that you said that.
Right.
Well, that's really sad.
And us in the part of the whole podcast will take a break for a short intermission of tissue use and fixing our eyeliner. All right, my number 8 song. This is the only song that both of us picked out of the Black Label catalog. "Crazy or High" from also once again the Hangover music. This one teeters, but it's a good teeter. The screaming vocals in there really, really works, but the slower start and then like the very fast solo, and then they sing the one verse a little bit slower, and then the ending solo is so much better than the original solo. Yeah, it's like the roller coaster ride of what Zakk will do to a song.
Yes,
and great song that we both picked. What did you think of it?
Again, I think this is a very Alice in Chains sounding song to me. Hangover music is almost like Zakk listened to Nutshell and thought, hey, I could add some songs to this album. In a good way, though. I love the switch over to electric for that little bit halfway through.
Right.
Very cool. You're not expecting it, but it makes its mark very well, and it's a great album opener, I think.
Definitely love it.
Yeah.
All right, my number 9 song. I kind of went like 8 and 2 bonus, kind of like a weird thing that I do every once in a while. But I realized I already did a cover song because my 2 bonus songs are cover songs. But but we're gonna talk about it anyway. Our one song is "Wider Shade of Pale." Mm-hmm. I love Zakk's raspy voice in this one. There's a piano. It's amazing how he can just sell the song with just a piano in his voice. Yes. There's no guitar, there's no electric, there's no acoustic. It's just him and piano. And this is probably like a 60s song. And, I looked up the guy's name and I can't remember it, but it's just one of those soft side of Zakk, just a piano and his vocals, and it just stinking mind-blowing. It's a fantastic cover.
Zakk belts the fuck out of this song. He is going for it with the vocals. Sometimes he struggles to hit the note, but the passion is there.
Right.
Which, that's all what it's all about for me. I listen to Nirvana, Kurt Cobain. Not the best singer in the world, but he's a passionate singer. It almost very much reminded me of their cover of Where Did You Sleep Last Night? In that the vocal performance is so raw and so just there that it's fantastic. And I will say, it is a much better guitarist piano ballad than How Many Say I. Much better. I will take this 1,000,000 times over that. For sure.
No, I just looked up the guy who originally sang this song is Procol Harum.
Of course.
I think he lives down the street too
Yes,
as well.
Yes.
So, Dill, what are you closing your Lighter Side of Black Label album out with?
My last song is off of the most recent album, Grimmest Hits?
Yes, it is.
So it's off the most recent album.
Yep.
I believe it's the closing song. I should probably check these things before I just say them off the top of my head. Let me look real quick at that information. And the answer is... It is not the closing song. It's song number 9 on Grimmest Hits, The Day That Heaven Had Gone Away. So the one word I would use to describe this song is beautiful. It's very much a beautiful Black Label Society song. And again, there's two bands that for some reason Acoustic Black Label remind me of. It's Alice in Chains, and this one again reminds me of Leonard Skinner.
Oh yeah. Right.
You could tell that he wears his influences on his sleeve. He plays homage to these people. He's covered Skinner twice at least on 2 different recording occasions because he recorded that one song, but then there was the other song that he recorded. Can't remember the name of it. But this song is just, it's breathtaking.
Right.
in the good way, if for all the Seinfeld watchers.
I'm on the same page as you. As you were speaking, I also wrote down beautiful and circled it for you.
Yeah.
But it's relaxing, emotional, and majestic.
Yes, yes.
It is just an amazing relaxation,
Yeah.
The shit that you don't expect from Black Label.
Not at all.
That is totally, total opposite.
Yeah, it blew me away.
Right.
I had not listened to it, I don't think, before. And if I did, I forgot it. I don't know why. Because it's such a beautifully arranged song.
And that album, I'm surprised it didn't get a lot of love. Like there was the Nightmare song, and there was another one that they released. But it just there's some really, really under the radar good songs on that album that
Well, and I think part of the reason is, and this was a problem that I had, is that I thought it was a greatest hits album when I saw the name of it,
right,
Grimmest Hits, and it's clearly a play on greatest hits,
right,
that you just pass over it. It's like, okay, another compilation.
Yeah, that's why a lot of the videos that were released with this album, the Grim Reaper's in them.
Yeah.
So that's where he's getting the grimmest hits.
It makes sense. It does make sense, but from a marketing standpoint, it's not the best choice.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so to close out my album, I picked another cover, the good old Bill Withers cover of "Ain't No Sunshine." Another just him and a guitar, and another great cover. He doesn't try to do too crazy with it. They turn it around. The vocals are pretty much straightforward. There's they turn around the chorus a little bit, and they do some little finger plucking guitar work, and nothing crazy about this song, just straightforward, great cover, giving a homage to Bill Withers. What a great way to do a cover of this song. Get it out there, nice relaxation, no craziness, no over the top solo.
Yeah,
I really, really enjoyed this cover.
Yeah, it's a really cool low-key song. The one note I have down is that Zakk Wylde sounds an awful lot like Jeff Bridges in this song. I don't know why my mind went to that. I've only ever
At least
heard,
it wasn't Gary Coleman.
Yeah, I've only ever heard Jeff Bridges sing once on the movie Crazy Heart. Really good movie. But for some reason, I'm like, oh, did he get Jeff Bridges to perform the vocals in the song? That wasn't the case.
No.
But he does an awfully good Jeff Bridges impression for my ear.
And if you've ever seen the video, for some reason, it's like a bar scene, and he has like the horse head mask on.
Okay.
And there's a girl, and she has like a unicorn mask on, and then there's another guy, and he has like a rooster mask on. He gets drunk, and he tries to hit on the girl, and Zakk comes over, and they get into a fake fight.
That's funny.
And it's a funny way you can see Zakk's humor in it. But yeah, there's definitely something, hopefully Dylan, as always, will put a kick-ass Spotify playlist together, because if you guys have not listened to Black Label even at all, I think these songs are a great way to actually slowly work your way into some good, lighter music that you don't expect from these guys.
Yeah. I think if you've only ever heard Stillborn or Suicide Messiah on the radio, you owe it to yourself to check out some of these songs that we talked about tonight, because they really do have depth that you might not realize, because a lot of their songs that they play on the radio do sound very samey. They're very much samey, pinch harmonics, Zakk going, oh yeah,
right,
and just wild soloing. But these songs that we talked about tonight really show how good of a songwriter he is, and how good of a composer he is. Because the lyrics, you highlighted a bunch of really good ones. That this buff guitarist that could kick the shit out of anybody can really speak from the heart and connect with the audience. And I think it's really cool that we're able to spotlight these songs.
Right, definitely. And thank you for,
Yeah, thanks for picking the topic.
Every once in a while on texting Dylan back and forth. I hope your ears aren't bleeding yet. So that's been the running joke for the week before we did this. So
it was not the worst thing I've had to listen to for this podcast by any stretch.
Yes. The Mission.
Oh boy, Styx, what were you doing with that album?
Oh wait, that's Steve's favorite Styx album.
How is that your favorite Styx album? Come on. So many other better ones.
Oh, and everybody, please, while you're
here. Much better Styx album.
Much better. I take Kilroy over The Mission any day. I can't wait till you listen to this.
Yeah.
So everybody out there, thanks for listening, Dylan. Thanks for letting me pick a topic. Hopefully that'll, turn your ear to a little bit deeper catalog. Not so crazy Zakk Wylde with his crazy wah-wah and whiny voices. But guys, please tell us, what do you think about the softer side of Black Label? Are my ears like making me crazy, or did you guys actually enjoy this little playlist that Dylan came up with? Please interact with us. Share us with your friends. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're on all the social medias now.
Yep.
So please interact with us. Tell us hi. Give us a topic. We're always trying to scramble. Sometimes even last minute. 3 days before we're going to record, we'll just pull something out of our ass. So even a topic would be great. And even get you on the show and Skype with you and talk some rock music, even if you're all the way over in Australia. So guys, take care of each other. Take care of yourself. We'll catch you next time, and there will be a next time.